Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're actually going to be talking about Hedera and Hbar, but we're going to be doing a little bit of a different type of video. So today we're actually going to be talking about, one, a tweet that I seen talking about a $12 Hbar, and then we're also going to be talking about speculative staking rewards. So let's dive in and let's talk about a few things. So as we really have this opportunity in this market to accumulate something like Hedera at these prices, obviously I am waiting a little bit lower for some major ape prices. A lot of people continuously ask me, well, if you think it's going to go to $12, why does it really matter at which price you accumulate? I'm still accumulating. I'm averaging into my position on Hedera, and I have been since we really kind of came down to some of these nice levels here. But these are like, in terms of like my 4 to 5 cent range on Hbar, that is like my major ape zone. That's where like I am deploying tons of capital into Hbar simply because I see it as a massive opportunity at those levels to take a major risk. I still feel confident at these levels. It's just the fact that we could still go lower because there's not major, support at these ranges that we are basically at. So I'm risking, us going lower and not having capital on the sidelines if I do continuously ape in at these levels. That's why I have been averaging in instead of aping. Just to, clarify that. Now, today we seen a tweet from the blockchain media, and they said, Hbar to $12, Hedera, is it possible? I'm sure that this has gained some traction since I actually had it open. A few people were saying like, things about the market cap for it, that it will never, get there, not anytime, soon, things like that. Well, let's actually talk about this. So when we really kind of look at Hbar and we kind of put price predictions on it, we really kind of say like, could it get to the $12 range anytime soon? Because that's basically what people want to know, like when $12, when this, when that. And I do agree with Mitchell down here. Like I don't believe that we will see $12 this year or even next year. That will probably be the next cycle. I mean, realistically speaking, if we look at Hedera and we kind of look at the fib outreaches. The 1618, which is hard to outreach to, barely gets us to $3. I'm still waiting on $3 to $6. That's like the area that I feel personally safe, exiting. Majorly at, yes, I will be taking profits on the way up, but my main target is $3. But if we do top out, at $3 for an example, so let me actually, look at this real quick, and we could actually really kind of say like, all right, well, where would for an example, $12 be, possible? And, could it happen next cycle? Well, if we're talking about like 94%, drops from like a $3 range. Now, on the next run up, this is my target point for, Hbar. But if we're talking about like 94% being the, average point for altcoins to drop down to, we would essentially bottom out about like almost at 17 cents if we do run up to about like $3. So this would be our bottoming range. And off of the fib levels on something like this, could, $12 be possible the next cycle? Yes, because the 1618 actually takes us to about, almost $18. But we're talking about, that's like, we don't really know exactly when the top's going to be this next cycle. A lot of people are looking at like 2024, 2025. So like the cycle where we actually do hit $12 plus on Hbar would most likely be around like, like the 2025 plus range after that. So, it is a little bit further away, but, will $12 eventually happen? Yeah, it very well could, happen. And the reason why I do believe that like $12 could happen for Hedera is because we have been seeing them continuously build out. Again, we don't know exactly when, for an example, like, $12, will happen depending on like the, major hype around Hedera. I mean, for an example, like, a major announcement, a major partnership, or a major use case going live could push the boundaries for Hedera to really kind of start its major move up. And we also do see, like Mitchell mentioned that here as well, like once all the use cases come on board, gaming and NFT continues its ranging momentum, then we can get like, a 5 to $10 in the near future to break $10 maybe in 5+ years when the rest of the big boys come online, which I actually agree. I mean, I think that plays perfectly into like the 2027 timeframe for us to actually get to like $10 plus, which is 5 years, and 5 years is pretty short to make that massive amount of, wealth. Now, of course, in the meantime, we will be selling like the major pumps and rebuying the major, dumps, if you will, and accumulating for, when $10 does happen, we make a ton of money. But I also did say, like, in regards to like Hedera, we have been seeing some major sectors within Hedera's community growing rapidly. The NFT market for itself has just recently hit over 10 million HBAR volume just on Zeus market alone. We have been, skyrocketing in growth and also adoption for Hedera NFT. So you love to see that. But not only that, but we also see, Galaxy continuously building out their Web3 social media platform, which I do think that is going to be a massive opportunity within this market. And I do love the fact that it is built on, of course, Hedera. And we do see, CEO and co-founder Solo Cise and his team had just raised $26 million. And since it's one of the, few black-owned marketplaces in the Web3 scene, it's a big deal. And I actually think that Galaxy, for the most part, is going to be a major opportunity in this market to really kind of see it grow out as a decentralized platform within the social media, area. And I also do think that it is incentivizing creators and also individuals that are, consuming those creators, content. It's going to benefit both individuals there. So I think that that's great, and I love to see things like this, especially in the Web3 scene. But also, we just recently seen some more, major moves happening within the Web3 scene from, the Hbar Foundation with, Reality Plus Web3, but also the game that they just recently announced as well. There's so many announcements around the Web3 scene from Hedera that I just absolutely love to see, especially as we do know that like Web3 is going to basically be like a major opportunity when you look at like Web 2.0 being like a $5.6 trillion market value. So just imagine how large Web3 will actually be when it is kind of, I would say catering to the retail individuals. Like this is going to be a major market opportunity and investment opportunity as well for individuals that are taking it seriously and paying attention. Now, of course, what would HBAR actually be worth at, $12 for an example? Because here we have, Hedera being compared to Ethereum, for an example, at $6.84 if we had $145.4 billion market cap. Does market cap really matter? I mean, for the most part, it does give you a little bit better of an insight on what Hedera would actually have to grasp in market cap valuation to get to a certain point. I expect a lot of these assets and Hedera at some point in time to have $1 trillion plus market cap, but it's going to take time to get there. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen this bull run or next bull run. But $1 trillion, in my opinion, is inevitable for a lot of these projects that are continuously building out solid, fundamental use cases that are solving some major issues. But again, what would the circulating supply be when we do hit $12? Because at our current moment, yeah, it would be about a $255 billion market cap. But would we be at 50% or a little bit over 50% of supply? Like, say for so we had, we'll just say, 35, billion HBAR in circulation, for example, right? And we wanted to go to $12. Well, $12 at that point would be a $420 billion market cap. And at the total supply at $12, for an example, it would be a $600 billion market cap. Do I think that this is, possible? Yeah, I also think that it's pretty conservative for something like Hedera long term. Like I said, at $1 trillion, taking the total supply into account, we'd be roughly worth $20 per HBAR, or an upside of about 279x. Now, let's talk about some staking rewards as well if we do get to $12 long term, and why I do believe that staking is actually a fairly large thing to really kind of introduce to individuals who feel the need to not only hodl their HBARs, but feels like Hedera is a great opportunity to be a part of. So in regards to the roadmap, we know that staking has for the longest time been pushed back a little bit. I think that it was initially going to launch in Q1 of 2022. Obviously, I think that they are really kind of playing out a few things within like regulation boundaries. Of course, like to me personally, them taking every single step that they possibly can to make sure that they are playing into compliance within regulations is definitely a step that I value them taking, because again, that could bring up some major issues around the token itself. And why would you want to stake a token that could possibly be targeted from regulators? So I think that them actually, pushing this back, focusing on regulations and things like that is actually a very good thing from Hedera's side. But we do know that staking is nearly here in regards to native staking. We know that recently, back on June 2nd, staking was, council approved and the status is accepted. We don't know exactly when this is going to be pushed live. They didn't give us a full-on, viewpoint on that in terms of like an ETA. But what I can say is we could speculate on the percentage APY that you could earn. I know that comparing it, like this is native staking, so comparing it to something like Stater, right, where you're earning 44% APY. I want you guys to understand real quick right now, when you're talking about like, we'll say 20 plus percent APY, it becomes very unsustainable. Meaning, the more and more individuals that stake, in terms of native staking, there's going to be a major demand around it. One, but also two, as more and more individuals do stake, the percentage APY does fall a little bit, but also, it does become a little bit unsustainable if the APY is massive in regards to revenue processing behind that. You still need a backing to actually back staking rewards. So to me, staking rewards could range from any sort of, area within APY. I believe that the best sustainable APY percentage is around like 5 to 10%. I think that that is a very safe boundary. Obviously, yes, there's other assets that do have, higher APY. For an example, like Casper has like 13%. But I do think that this is a safe range, and I think that is actually pretty right on point with the market standards within this market. Comparing it to legitimate APY staking, like for an example, like USDC, that you could earn like I think it's like 4 to 5% on Coinbase. But this is my speculative, staking sheet on, Hbar staking. This is what I personally look at, and I also do have the value like at $12 for an example. If we do stake it for a whole year and actually like lock it up, they most likely will have like a lockup mechanism within staking that earns you more APY by you putting your trust within them to continuously build out. And it is a high risk to, lock your tokens for like a year, 2 years, 3 years. So I do think that that would actually be pretty cool if they did offer a higher, APY percentage on individuals locking their tokens in on the network. But again, that is a little bit risky for a lot of individuals, and it might be something that a lot of individuals turn away from, which again does offer more higher percentage incentives. But this is my viewpoint on this. So obviously the cost of the amount staked is actually a little off here. Or actually, no, it is, sorry, I was thinking about over here in terms of the amount earned, sorry. The amount of the cost of the amount staked, which is 100,000 Hbar, I just have it at 7,000 because like currently right now, like Hbar is trading at almost 7 cents. So it's like roughly almost $7,000. Obviously, this price could, drop drastically depending on where you did buy, what your average price is. I'm just going to average it at $7,000 just for an example. And we do see like the amount earned per year at just $12. You'd see like, first off, 5,000 Hbar per year at 5% if you're staking 100,000 Hbar. And of course, like at 8%, you're earning about 8,000 Hbar, and then of course at 10%, you're earning 10,000 Hbar. And the values, of course, go from 60,000, 96,000 to 120,000. Now, is it even worth, staking at like, for an example, $3, right? Yes, because again, your cost to get 100,000 Hbar at the current market structure is roughly 7,000, and 5,000 Hbar, even at $1, is worth $5,000. So that's a pretty solid, return, because again, you have 100,000 Hbar staked. That's worth $100,000 at $1 from your $7,000 investment, and you're also earning an additional $5,000 that basically almost covered the entire cost of the original 100,000 Hbar. So that is pretty solid. And of course, in terms of like the 8%, yes, 8,000. If you earned the full 8,000 for that year, would also cover the entire investment. 10,000 would actually profit you as well. Of course, with staking, there does come taxes as well. So just please be aware of that. But in regards to this, yeah, like even like a $3 or a $2 Hbar, 5,000 Hbar for the year does set you pretty at $15,000 at $3, or at $2, $10,000. And of course, the amounts here change drastically if you are staking less or more. And of course, the amount that you do earn times the amount that Hbar is trading at definitely nets you a little bit more as well. But in my opinion, like staking rewards with Hbar is definitely going to be something that I'm focused on. As you guys know, I'm like extremely into Hedera. I continue to talk about it. I continue to support the project simply because I do see what they're building. These things do take time. In my regards to like staking as well, like staking opportunities, I feel safe staking on Hedera in terms of like native staking, because of ABFT. That is like the thing that I really love about Hedera that really kind of sets it apart from everything else is just ABFT. Because it does allow for the highest grade of security, which tells me that if you are staking on, in terms of like native Hedera staking, your tokens are most likely more secure than anywhere else in regards to staking opportunities. So I actually love that about Hedera as well. So I hope that, that really kind of clarifies a few things in regards to not only staking, but also if we could go to $12 for Hbar, I first off, really want to see us hit, a few dollar figure amounts before we even do get to $12, but that's just me. I don't even really want to talk about $12 until we hit like, $1 to $2 to even $3. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.